get Abigail to play with a single doll. It didn't matter. I bought her every kind of doll.
My mother took her into American Girl, and my mother was actually kind of disappointed. She was like, she didn't even really care.
No, she didn't.
I think she just got the doll for me. You know? She's like, it's important to Aunt Sharon, so I'll just get it.
Yeah, and I mean, I tried with everything, and she just wasn't interested. She liked, you know, she wanted to play soccer, but she was always rejected on the soccer field by the little boys.
Yeah, and I remember she didn't want to play with the girls because they did things that she didn't want to do.
Yeah. So it's really hard to try to figure that out when you have a kid who's like, I don't want to do what my gender wants to do.
What we're gender norming.
Yes.
You know, what's considered traditional, which I have a lot of issues with, gender roles. Like, what do little boys like and what little girls like?
And you should be wearing pink and you should be wearing blue.
It's really frustrating. I find the whole thing, I'm like, here we have, since we're having these conversations, an opportunity to maybe not do it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, just let people be themselves.
Yes. Well, in a recent Twitter post, a dad said that his 5-year-old son was bullied for wearing nail polish. Well, look at you, boo-boo. Look at you,
fly and fierce with your nails.
Look at you.
Look how his nails did. What up? The dad believes his son is the victim of a culture of toxic masculinity. And I agree.
Yeah.
Should you let kids explore what gender means, or should you encourage behaviors that are in line with what society expects and calls gender roles?
Well, you know what? And here's the thing. I, as a mother, I fell right into that trap. I was like, hold the baby. You know, do this with the baby. You know.
Oh, girl, as a baby, Abby looked like a wedding cake.
She did.
I mean, there were days where I was like, is there a bow on every inch of her? Just like crazy.
It's true.
But it's hard to resist.
Yes. Well, we've seen young men wearing nail polish or dresses like Jaden Smith. Will and Jada let him express himself, and I think that's pretty cool.
I do. Plus, they're rich; they could just pay off the bullies.
Yes.
That's how they would do it.
We polled you and asked, does a boy wearing nail polish signify his sexual orientation? 11% of you said yes, and 89% of you said no.
This blows my mind, though. And then we asked, and does a girl playing with trucks signify her sexual orientation? 0% said yes, and 100% said no. And that's amazing.
I find that very interesting.
I think we may have discovered what toxic masculinity starts, you know?
Yeah.
I find that the girls she can play with a truck, but don't you dare put on no nail polish.
No. So we talked to a dad who is teaching his kids to ignore gender norms. Please welcome Jason Green. Thank you for being here, Jason.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes. So what would you tell your son if he wanted to wear nail polish?
Well, I have 4 kids, and 2 boys, 2 girls, and 2 of my boys have worn nail polish before. Not a big deal.
Not a big deal.
Not a big deal. Like I said, yeah, it is fun. And you know, my wife, she's putting on her nail polish, and you know, she's done, and the boys stick their hands out, and she continues.
Yeah.
And it's no big deal. And then they say, you know, Daddy next, and I'll put my hand out there too. And
yeah. Well, how do you feel like children learn gender norms?
You're talking about the young boy who was bullied at school.
Yeah.
So he was bullied by kids who were told something. The children don't just learn that. Children, especially at that age, they want to look at pretty things. They want pretty things. They want to have things that are bright and colorful. And so they're learning it somewhere. They're learning it at home. They're learning it from, I don't know, they're learning it from somewhere. Someone's telling them what's girlish and what's boyish.
That's right. I think we started, and we were talking about when Abby first went to school, one of the first things they do is divide you by gender.
Yeah.
And the first thing they do is say all the girls on one side, all the boys on the other. It's like we start so young.
Yeah, line up according to your gender. We want to know what kind of effects this has on a child. And joining us right now is clinical psychologist at Seasons in Malibu, Nancy Irwin. Thank you for being here, Nancy.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yes.
What did you think of what Jason said?
First of all, kudos to Jason for being super father. Brilliant parenting.
Yes.
Absolutely. You know, there should be one gender norm, and that's that there are no norms.
Preach.
Gender is very fluid up to a certain age. In fact, until about the age 6 or 7, kids don't even know it's a fixed trait.
Wow.
They don't know it's a permanent trait, that they're physically, you know, anatomically a boy or a girl. So it's perfectly natural and healthy to expose them to a lot of different choices. They are going to identify with what they're going to identify. If you try to shut that down, you may be breeding the seeds of sexism, which is just as dangerous as racism and homophobia and all the other isms.
Yeah. Well, I think we've come across parents who are afraid, and when we say that comes, it starts with fear. I'm afraid my child may be different. I don't want my child to be bullied, and so I'm going to, make sure that my son doesn't, like girly things, doesn't play with dolls, doesn't show love towards, or nurturing and things like that. Get him out here on the football field. Those types of things.
I wanted to ask Jason, have your kids had any problems? Have they been bullied at all? Like because you're teaching them something different when they go to school or play with others?
Oh, absolutely. My oldest, he's 14 now, and he was 5 and 6 years old, and he was in kindergarten, and we both had our nails done together. My wife did his nails, and then she did mine. And he went to school, and they made fun of him at school. Some kids made fun of him, and he came home, and his nails are pink. And he came home and he told me what happened. And so I just heard recently that Chuck Liddell, the ultimate UFC fighter, he paints his nails sometimes. And so I pulled up a video of him fighting with pink nails. and I showed him what, I bet nobody ever challenges this guy.
I know.
And,
pink power.
Yeah.
Exactly.
and so maybe I fed to the the macho-ness in a way that I shouldn't have, but I was showing him that other men do wear nail polish, especially, and some people who you would never make fun of wear nail polish.
That's right. What can parents do to combat because it's in the media, it's everywhere. What can parents do to deal with that?
Well, it is a judgmental world. You do want to prepare your children if they are doing something that's out of the norm, that is different, that's against society's expectations for that gender, that there may be some pushback, but it can be a great opportunity to strengthen them and defend their own choice. And like Jason said, there are plenty of men who do that. I mean, in baseball, catchers typically have bright polish so they can signal the pitcher.
I didn't know that.
I know.
No, wow.
Exactly. Rosie O'Greer did needlepoint.
Yeah.
So you want to empower your kids to go, if you don't like this choice, you don't have to do it. Don't paint your nails pink.
Yeah.
But don't, rain on my parade.
I think it's great what you said, and prepare them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There might be some people who just aren't down, and you know what? That's on them.
Yes, it
Exactly.
is. Well, thank you so much, Jason and Nancy.
Thank you for being on the show.
Well, thank you.
Me Time with Frangela.